Hello everyone and welcome to the second video of the series where we do teach how to grade stocks, specifically undervalued dividend growth stocks. So if you didn't look at or watch the first video, I do recommend you do so because I explain a little bit more in detail step by step. Now, my idea here is just to show how retail traders can build up with free resources in the internet an undervalued dividend growth stock portfolio, right? So this is the second video. Today we'll be looking at Bristol Myers, all right? So defensive stock here belong to the healthcare sector. So let's take a look, brief look to the business description. So Bristol Myers Squibb discovers, develops, and market drugs for various indications. Right. So as I said, it's a defensive stock, belongs to the healthcare sector. So let's take a look at this stock. And normally these stocks, they have a long historical or have been, paying dividends for a long time. So let's take a look at this company. Let's see how we can grade Bristol Myers using some majority free internet resources. All right, so we will use the six step or the six categories divided in 21 factors step by step. All right, so here on our proprietary spreadsheet, we do have the company checklist where we will see what is going to be the overall score for Bristol Myers. So we'll take a look at the company quality, the dividend, management products, and the relative valuation. All right, so let's get started. So regarding company quality, here we want to see what is the credit rating. So we will use the Standard & Poor's rating. All right, so here we do have, this is a free resource, Bristol Myers. We have an A+, so as a credit rating, this is really high, very good rating for the company. So let's score this an A+, and we can see here regarding on the column regarding the rating, we do have on the second line from A+ through A-, we scored a 2. All right, so we will score a 2. Then we'll take a look at the product competitive advantage. So we'll take a look at Morningstar What. So Morningstar is the only service I do recommend you guys to subscribe because it's really worth it. It gives you a complete picture about the company. And you can see here that it's a 4-star company according to Morningstar, and we have a wide MOAT, right? So we explain in detail in our course what is the economic MOAT. It's not my intention here to explain it, all right? We just want to see what is the economic MOAT for Bristol Myers. So we do have wide. Let's score this. So for a wide, now we will take a look at the Morningstar MOAT here on the second column, and we can see here the wide corresponds a 3. So we will score this a 3. And then we'll take a look at Petrovsky if score, where we'll use Guru Focus. So we have here Guru Focus. Excellent website, lots of free information data, and we can see here Petrovsky F score for Bristol Myers, it's a 6. So again, it's not my intention to explain what does this mean here in this section. We just want to learn how to grade and score stocks. All right. So for a 6, let's take a look what would be the score. So now we'll take a look at this third column, and you can see here on the third line, 6 fits in on the average. So yellow color, 5 to 6, where we will score this as a 3. Now we do have completed the company quality checklist. So we can see that overall the company is 73% out of 100, which is well above 50%. So really good company here, no doubt about that. Now let's take a look at the dividend. Now we will use here Guru Focus. All right. So again, we use a color scheme to score the different factors. All right. So let's take a look at the current dividend yield. We will stay here on Guru Focus, and the dividend yield comes here on the right side. So current dividend yield of 3.39. Let's score this 3.39, and we can see here that as for, sorry about this, guys, the 339, all right, comes into versus its industry. Sorry, I was thinking about another stuff. Just lost myself for a moment. So versus its industry, we have dark green. All right. So dark green. Now we'll take a look at this first column. Dark green. We will score this as a 4. Okay. So better dividend versus its peers. And now let's see regarding its history. And regarding this history, we do have orange. All right. So for orange, we will score this a 1. So we have here this orange color. All right. So once again, the orange matches the history dividend for Bristol Myers. So orange, we will score this as a 1. Now we'll take a look at the 3-year dividend growth rate. So again, going back to Guru Focus, 3-year dividend growth rate here on this line. Whoops, sorry about this. 2.60. So 2.6. Now let's compare this to its historical dividend growth rate, 3-year, and versus the industry. Okay. So versus the industry, we have a red, and for a red, we have a 0. All right. So 0. And what about its history? We have an orange. So for orange, we do have a 1. Okay, so again, color scheme making our life easy. Now we'll take a look at the 5-year dividend growth rate. And here we can see here that the 5-year dividend growth rate is 2.7%. So 2.7%. And here is where things can get a little bit tricky, because now on the 5-year dividend growth rate, we need to see what is the current dividend yield, all right, and fit it in a category, all right. So for the dividend yield at 3.39%, we need to see where does it fit in terms of yield, okay. So we can see it fits in the middle. So from 2 to 4%, we have 3.39, all right? So we'll be looking at this column here. Now we do have a 2.7, all right? So a 2.7 comes on the orange column, all right? So from the range of 2 to 5% per year. So 2.7 on the orange gives us a 1, all right? So we'll score this as a 1. Now we'll take a look at the dividend payout ratio. Let's go back to Guru Focus, and we have the dividend payout ratio 0.43, so 43%, which is okay. And let's see versus its industry. We have orange. Now we will look at this column. So for orange, we have a 1. Now versus its history, we have dark green. So dark green, we will score here a 4. Then the yield on cost. Let's take a look at the yield on cost. So the yield on cost over the past 5 years, we have 3.87. So 3.87. And let's score this. So versus its industry, light green. So yield on cost. Now we'll take a look at this column, light green. It's this cell here. We will score this as a 3. And versus its history, we have orange. So for orange, we'll score this as a 1. Now we'll take a look at for how many years have been Bristol Myers paying dividend. All right, and we can use, for example, DV data. Okay, also a free website. So we have here for Bristol Myers 47 years. Okay, paying dividend. So 47, and the 47 fits in the light green, so between 25 49. So we score this 3. All right, so once again, dividend data, free resource. You can see here the overall rating for the dividend for Bristol Myers is above average, excellent dividend yield, history, stability, and you can see here the full dividend history from Bristol Myers as well. Nice little chart showing us the trend of the increasing dividend. All right, so we can see here paying for more than 47 years. So regarding the dividend, we get a score of 48. Now, good company, however, we would, or at least for us, we would like to see the score above 50, okay? But here is a good example of how a company is a really good company, but when we start analyzing all the factors to grade the stock, we see that there are some points that are weaker, all right, which will keep us on hold when deciding to buy or not to buy the stock, right? Now let's take a look at management. Here we will see how the management is able to generate profits, all right? So let's take a look here. Let's go again to Guru Focus, all right? So we will take a look at the return of capital invested. Okay, so here we will be looking here at the return of capital invested, 153.54. And again, using the color scheme help us to score and visualize better the metrics. So we have dark green, and dark green, we will score this as a 4. Okay, so we'll be looking at this column, dark green and dark green. We will score this as a 4 and as a 4. Then we'll take a look at the return of assets. Now return of assets, 16.21. And once again, guys, I'm not explaining here what does it mean each metric. This is explained in other chapter of our module. Here I'm just sharing with you how you can use a scoring system to grade stocks, all right? So return of assets, we do have dark green and yellow. So dark green will be a 4 and the yellow will be a 2, right? So we have here the yellow will be a 2. Next, financial strength, and we've got a 6, okay? So we've got a 6 here, and the 6 fits into or either the yellow or the dark green. Okay, guys, but you can see, for example, that we have light green. So on Guru Focus, so I will use the light green color here, and I will score this as a 3. Okay. Now current ratio. And the current ratio we do have here on the right, 388. Okay. So 388. Now let's use the color scheme. So light green versus the industry and dark green versus its historical performance. Okay, so light green will be a 3 and dark green will be a 4. And now let's take a look at profitability. Here, profitability, we have 8 with dark green. Okay, so we have here 8 and we have here as well as 8, but like I said, we have dark green, so we will score this as a 5. So we have 8 and we'll score this as a 5. So again, it's well above the average regarding management here. All right, so really good management, good company quality, and unfortunately we just see that dividend is not at the same level as all the other metrics. All right, now let's take a look at products. Has the company been generating money with its products? All right, so we'll take a look at the 3-year total revenue growth. So now the 3-year total revenue growth rate, 10.9, okay? So 10.9. So let's take a look. What's the score versus its industry? We have a yellow, and versus its history, dark green. So we have a yellow, okay, so score of 2. And versus its history, we have dark green, we have a 4. All right, so just let me check, double check. So yellow, dark green, this is correct. Yellow, have a 2, dark green, we have a 4. Operation margin, 28.6%. Let's score. So dark green, dark green. So operation margin, dark green, dark green. So we can score this as a 4 and as a 4 as well. And now let's take a look at its net margin. And we have a 26. And we have a dark green versus the industry. Let's confirm. Okay, and then we have yellow versus its history. So now we have dark green as a 4, and then we have the yellow versus its history. We will score this as a 2. So once again, good products, 83%, well above the 50%. Good products, great management, good quality. However, we still see here, we would like to see at least the 50% for the dividend. All right. Now let's take a look at the relative valuation, because it's the last metric we need to score the company. All right. So relative valuation, we as value investors, we can expect this company to be relatively cheap. All right. So let's take a look at the price earnings. So price earnings 1261. So we do have a 1261. So versus its industry, I think it's light green. Here it is, versus its history, dark green. So light green versus its industry, we score this as a 4. Versus its history, we have dark green, we will score this as a 5. Next, price sales. So price sales 3.29. 3.29 versus its industry, it's yellow. All right, so Price sales versus its industry, it's yellow. We'll score this as a 3. And now versus its history, light green. So light green, we have here a 4. Okay, so we'll score this as a 4. Then price book. So 485. 485. Now versus its industry, we have orange. All right. So price book versus the industry, have an orange. We will score this as a 2. Here it is. And versus its history, we have a light green. So a light green would be here a 4. And now we'll take a look at the EV to EBITDA. So here we have it, 887. And now versus the industry, light green. So EV to EBITDA versus the industry, light green, it's a 4. And last, versus its history, it's dark green. Okay, so dark green, we'll score this as a 5. So now we just grade our company. So we have give a score to Bristol Myers, and you can see that it's really a great company, well above the 50% average, 74%. Okay, 369 points out of 500, which is well above average. Good quality, good management, good products, relatively cheap compared to the sector and to its historical metrics. However, we do see here it's the biggest handicap for the company currently, it's the dividend. So my suggestion is if we can find other companies that do fit in this category, where on the healthcare sector, right, we can then score and grade those companies, and then we can compare. I'm just thinking about Pfizer, Allianz, BASF. I mean, there are many others there out there in the health sector. So if we use, for example, here Dividata, let's go back here, here to the stock detail page. We can see here some of its competitors. We have Johnson & Johnson, Roche, Merck's, Novartis. Also here, Morningstar can do some evaluation about its competitors. All right, so we have here AstraZeneca, Eli Lilly. All right, so all companies that we can also, here is Merck's. So all companies that we should be looking to grade, okay, and then compare to Bristol Myers. And if we do have, you know, better valuation, so if we have to choose, obviously we'll choose those that you know, are better than this. But like I said, for myself, I would prefer to see the dividend above the 50% instead of 48. All right. But let's see what would be the fair price right now for Bristol Myers. All right. So we have the stock price at, let's use, for example, here Guru Focus. We have the stock price trading at 47.93. So 47.93 with the current price to earnings of 12.61. Okay. So 12.61. The industry price to earnings median, if we place the cursor just on top of the bar, we can see that the median is 1914. For P, Bristol Myers trading at 12.61. So very, very cheap compared to the sector. So let's use this data, 1914, all right? And we can see that the company compared to its industry is 34% cheap if we just use the price to earnings, all right? Then compared to its historic price earnings median. So here once again, if you place the cursor on top of the bar, we can see that the median over the past 10 years for Bristol Myers is trading at a P of 23.1. Currently it's 12.61. So again, really, really cheap compared to its historical price earnings. So 23.1. Let's see what's the current discount. And we can see that overall, to its historic price to earnings, the company is 45% cheap, all right? And we can see that versus the industry is 34% cheap. Now we'll take a look at the dividend yield, all right? So what's been the historic yield for Bristol Myers? So once again, using Guru Focus dividend yield, 3.39%, okay? So the current yield, 3.39%, and its historical 13-year or 10-year yield. So if we now place the cursor on top here, we see that over the past 10 years, the median dividend yield for Bristol Myers is 3.17, currently is 3.39. So the company is paying much more now that it has been on average over the past 10 years, all right? So 3.39, the historic is 3.17. So 3.17, we can change this because it's not over the past 13 years, but over the last 10 years. And we can see on a pure dividend analysis, company right now is 6% cheaper. And last, we'll take a look at what is the Morningstar fair value for Bristol Myers. So if we now go back to Morningstar, we do see that Bristol Myers, the fair value for Morningstar is $65, all right? So $65 for Morningstar. So according Morningstar, the company is 36% cheap. So now we came to what we call the fair value for Bristol Myers. So 69 bucks, okay? So $69 would be the current fair value for this stock. Currently, the stock is trading at $47.93. So this would give us a discount of 44%. And now we do have the overall scoring system here, which gives us a great image about the overall company, all right? So good quality, good management, great products, relatively cheap. The dividend, however, is not at the same level as the other factors. But still, the stock is trading at 44% at discount with a fair value price of 69, all right? So here, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this second video, all right, where we show you how retail traders can use a very simple but effective way to score and grade stocks, all right, a specific basket of stocks, undervalued dividend growth stocks, which is a great strategy over the medium and long term. Okay, so we will be doing a few more videos of other stocks. So hope you enjoy this, all right?